नमस्कार। आज का जो टॉपिक है बार्नाक स्पेस, ये एमएससी मैथ्स थर्ड सेमेस्टर वाले बच्चों के लिए हैं और जो उनका जो फर्स्ट पेपर है थर्ड सी फंक्शनल एनालिसिस, उसके अंतर्गत आता है ये बार्नाक स्पेस। तो सबसे पहले हम इसका थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन देखते हैं। We shall be concerned with a class of spaces known as Banach space, which are endowed with both topological and algebraic structure. Recall that a linear space or vector space is an ordered triple V dot F, where V is an additive abelian group and F is a field and dot is a function from F cross V into V, whose values at alpha comma x is denoted by alpha x, such that alpha beta belongs to F and xy belongs to V. We are having the following properties for this linear space or vector space. So these properties are: first one, that a alpha into x plus y equal to alpha x plus alpha y. Second one, alpha plus beta, here we have to write x, here x, here is the x. So alpha plus beta into x equal to alpha x plus beta y, and third one, alpha into beta x equal to alpha beta x, and 1 into x equal to x, where 1 is the multiplicative identity of F. These are the simple properties of vector space or linear space. So we will use this here field F and vector space V or linear space V. Here the members of V are called vectors and the members of field F are called the scalars, and this operation dot is called the scalar multiplication. Linear space are thus usually purely algebraic structure. So throughout this article chapter, we are using our field F will be either R or C. Here R is for the set of real number and C is for the set of complex number. A linear space will be called real linear space or complex linear space according as this scalar or of real or complex numbers fields. So now for Banach space we defined the basic requirement, which is normed linear space. So normed linear space is similar to like metric space and it is having some certain conditions, properties. So we see here normed linear space. So here normed linear space, let n be a complex or real linear space, and here we are defining, and this we will tell norm in double line. This we will tell as a norm be a function from n into R, such that for all xy belongs to n and all alpha belongs to C or R, we are having following four conditions. So the first condition is that n1 norm of the x is greater and equal to 0. This one, norm x is greater and equal to 0, and the second condition n2 says us that norm x equal to 0 if and only if x equal to 0. The third one is that n3 norm of the x plus y is less and equal to norm x plus norm of the y. This is like a triangle inequality. And the fourth one, n4, that norm of the alpha x will be equal to modulus alpha into x. So these are the four conditions that if a linear space n satisfied these with this property function from n into r and having these four conditions, then we will say that n is a normed linear space. So this function is called a norm on n, and this pair n and norm is called a complex norm or real norm linear space. The real number norm x is called the norm of the x. So here some particular cases that if the property n3 is also called the subadditivity, and the property n4 or condition n4 is also known as absolute homogeneity. So in these four conditions, if the condition n2 is dropped, then the norm, this type of condition norm is called a semi-norm or pseudo-norm on n, and we then say that n is the semi-normed linear space. The conditions n1 and n2 in definition 1 can be replaced by a single condition, that is n-1. So this n-1 tells us that norm x is non-zero if x is non-zero. So we can combine the conditions n1 and n2 in definition 1 with this n-1, that if norm x is non-zero, then if x is non-zero. So there is new definition for the norm linear space, that this norm will be a norm on n if the conditions n-1, n3 and n4 are satisfied, and a semi-norm if the conditions n3 and n4 are satisfied. So this is the definition of norm linear space, and based on this norm, now we consider some theorems. So the first theorem is like this, that let n be a norm linear space and d be a function from n cross n into r defined by dxy equal to norm of the x minus y, then d is a metric on n. So here we are having norm linear space, and we are transforming this norm linear space into a metric space with the definition of dxy equal to norm of the x minus y. So we prove this here, the conditions of the metric space. So we prove here that a norm linear space is a metric space, and therefore conditions of metric space should be verified. So we consider M1. So M in the M1 we are having x, considering xy belongs to n implies x minus y belongs to n, and then norm of the x minus y is greater than equal to 0 by the condition n1 of norm space. So this implies that d of the xy is greater than equal to 0. So this is the first condition of metric space. The second one, that dxy equal to 0 implies norm x minus y equal to 0 by definition of dxy, and this implies x minus y equal to 0 by n2, and from this we obtain x equal to y. So this is the second condition of the metric. For the third one, d of the xy equal to norm x minus y, and we take here minus 1 common, then we obtain this as norm of the minus 1 into y minus x. So here I have to put norm. This norm is for the two slashes norm x. So then we take the minus 1 outside by using the property of n4. So this we can write as modulus of the minus 1 and norm of the y minus x, and since modulus of the -1 is 1, therefore this will become norm y minus x, and then this is equal to d of the yx. So we obtained the third condition of the matrix, that dxy equal to dyx. So now we go for the fourth condition, that is the triangle inequality. So here we are considering x, y and z belongs to n, and then nor using the condition n3, here norm of the x minus y, so we subtract and add z x, so this will become x minus z plus z minus y, and using the n3 property, triangle property of norm, this will become less and equal to norm x minus z plus norm z minus y by n3, and therefore we have obtained dx comma y equal to, dx comma y is less and equal to dxz plus dzy. So it follows that D is a matrix on n. So we have proved all the conditions of the matrix. Therefore, for this definition of the matrix, that dxy equal to norm xy, so this is a matrix space on n. So in this way we can say that every matrix space, every norm linear space is a matrix space. So now we defined some definitions. So for the convergence in norm linear spaces, so the definition first one, that n norm linear space, then first definition, that is sequence xn in n is said to converge to an element x0 belongs to n if for a given epsilon greater than 0 there exists a positive integer m0 such that for all n greater and equal to m0 implies norm of the xn minus x0 is less and equal to epsilon. So if for any epsilon we are able to find positive integer m0 such that for all natural number n greater and equal to m0 the norm of the xn minus x0 is less than epsilon, then we will say that this sequence xn converges to x0. So in the other way, that if xn converges to x0, then we will also write that limit of the xn n tends to infinity equal to x0, or xn tending to x0 as n tends to infinity. So it follows that xn tending to x0 if and only if norm of the xn minus x0 tends to 0. So the second definition about the Cauchy sequence in norm linear space, that in a sequence xn in n is said to be called a Cauchy sequence if for a given epsilon greater than 0 there exists positive integer m0 such that for all mn greater and equal to m0 implies norm of the xm minus xn is less than epsilon. So this is the definition of the Cauchy sequence. And the third one is about the completeness of the norm linear space. So a norm linear space n is called complete if and only if for every Cauchy sequence in n is a convergent. That is, if and only if for each Cauchy sequence xn in n there exists an element x0 in n such that xn tends to x0, or limit of this sequence is x0 exists and belongs to n. So any norm linear space is said to be complete if every Cauchy sequence is a convergent sequence. So based on this we define here, we consider here that a theorem that in a norm linear space every convergent sequence is a Cauchy sequence. So here the properties are similar to metric spaces. So in the metric spaces we have considered the sphere and the metric, and in non-linear space we consider the norm. Almost similar property. So in this theorem is also similar. In a non-linear space, every convergent sequence is a Cauchy sequence. In metric spaces we have proved that every Cauchy sequence is a Cauchy sequence. Every convergent sequence is a Cauchy sequence, and in the similar way, in the norm linear space, every convergent sequence is a Cauchy sequence. So we proved this as simple way, similar way as before. So the proof is simple, and we follow in this way, that suppose the sequence action in a non-linear space, the sequence action in a non-linear space and converges to a point x0 belongs to n. We are considering here convergent sequence, therefore the point x0 belongs to n. To show that it is a Cauchy sequence, so let epsilon greater than 0 be given, and since the sequence converges to x0, therefore we can find there exists a positive integer m0 such that for all n greater and equal to m0 implies norm xn minus x0 is less than epsilon by 2. So hence for all mn greater and equal to m0 we have norm of the xm minus xn. So here we add and subtract and add x0. So we obtained this as norm of the xm minus x0 plus x0 minus xn. So then this will become, by using the third property of the norm linear space or triangle inequality, this is become less and equal to norm xm minus x0 plus norm x0 minus xn by 3, and then use equation 1. We obtain this as less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2, this equal to epsilon. So for mn greater than m0, for any epsilon we have obtained m0 such that for all mn greater than m0, norm of the xm minus xn is less than epsilon. Therefore this is a Cauchy sequence. So every convergent, it follows that every convergent sequence is a Cauchy sequence. Now we define the Banach space. So the definition is this: a norm linear space which is complete as a metric space is called a Banach space, or simply a B space. So a norm linear space which is complete as a metric space is called a Banach space. So if in a norm linear space every Cauchy sequence is convergent sequence, then this type of space is known as Banach space. So the next definition about summability in a norm linear space. So a series summation fn in a norm linear space is said to be summable to a sum s if s is in the space and the sequence of partial sums of the series converges to s. That is, norm of the s minus summation I equal to 1 to n fi is tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. If this is the case, then we can write this as s equal to summation I equal to 1 to infinity fi. So the next definition, the series summation fn is said to be absolutely summable if summation I equal to 1 to infinity norm fi, sum of the from I equal to 1 to infinity norm fi is less than infinity. So then here we are having the definition of summable and absolutely summable. That summable if there exists its sum s equal to summation I equal to 1 to infinity fi, and this is absolutely summable if the sum of the term as a norm of the Fi is less than infinity. So in general, in the case of a series of 4 real numbers, we know that every absolutely summable series is summable. But this is, however, not true in general for the series of elements in a norm linear space. So the following theorem shows that this implication holds if the space is complete. So when the absolutely summable series is summable, that this theorem tells us its criteria. So this is the theorem third, that a norm linear space N is a Banach space if and only if every absolutely summable series in N is summable. So here we see the proof of this in 2 parts. So the first part is the only if part. So the only if part, in the only if part we suppose that N is a Banach space and suppose that summation Fn is an absolutely summable series of N. So by definition of absolutely summable series, there exists k greater than 0 such that summation of the norm Fn n varying from 1 to infinity equal to k, and which will be less than infinity because this is absolutely summable. Therefore, for epsilon greater than 0, there exists a positive integer m such that summation n equal to m to infinity norm of the Fn less than epsilon. And so we consider here partial sum as Sn. So let Sn equal to summation I equal to 1 to n Fi be the partial sum of the series summation f L Fn, and then for n greater and equal to m and greater and equal to capital M, we are having some norm of the Sn minus Sm equal to summation I equal to 1 m to n Fi, and which will be less and equal to I equal to m to n norm Fi, and this is less and equal to by the triangle inequality I equal to m to infinity. Here we have opened this using the triangle inequality, and this will be less than I equal to m to infinity norm Fi, and which is less than epsilon. So for epsilon we have obtained, and there exists m such that norm of the Sn minus Sm is less than epsilon. So this is become a Cauchy sequence. Hence the sequence Sn of partial sum is a Cauchy sequence and converges to an element S in N, since N is a complete being a Banach space. Because here, so we have proved that that absolutely summable series is a summable, or its sum is exists. So next we consider its converse part. So the converse part, so in the if part, in the converse part, we let every absolutely summable series in N be summable, and we have to prove that N is a Banach space. So we are considering let F be a Cauchy sequence. So we are considering here Fn be a Cauchy sequence in N, and then and we will prove that this is a convergent using the condition that absolutely summable series is summable. So let Fn is a Cauchy sequence. So then for every integer k, there exists an integer nk, positive integer nk, such that norm of the Fn minus Fm is less than 2 power minus k n comma m greater than nk. We are choosing here nk such that this Fn minus Fm norm is less than 2 power minus k. So we may choose nk in such that nk plus 1 is greater than nk, and then we are considering here a subsequence fnk. So Fnk is a subsequence of the Fn, and we are setting here G1 equal to Fn1, Gk equal to Fnk minus Fnk minus 1 for k equal to greater than 1. Then we will see that the sum of this G1 plus G2 plus so on Gk is equal to Fnk. Thus we have obtained a series summation Gn whose kth partial sum is Fnk, and the norm of the Gk will be equal to norm of the Fnk minus 1, and which is less than 2 power minus k plus 1 from the equation 1. So if k greater than 1, and then we will say that the series summation of the series summation norm Gk is less than equal to norm G1 plus sum 2 power minus k plus 1. So this is a Gp, and though the sum of this is equal to 1, therefore this summation norm Gk is equal to norm G1 plus 1. So hence the series summation Gk is absolutely summable, and so by hypothesis that it is summable, we have supposed that every absolutely summable is summable. So this series is absolutely summable, and so by hypothesis it is summable, so that there exists f in n to which the series summation Gn converges. But the convergence of the series summation Gk is equivalent to the convergence of Fnk. So the sum of the subsequence Fnk, since the partial sum of the series summation Gk is Fnk, therefore convergence of summation Gk is convergence of Fnk. Thus we have obtained that the subsequence Fnk converges to f. Now we shall show that the sequence Fn converges to f, that is Fn tends to f. Since Fn is a Cauchy sequence, therefore for any given epsilon greater than 0, we can find an m such that norm of the Fn minus Fm is less than epsilon by 2 for all nm greater than m. And second one, that this we tell equation 2, and the second one that since Fnk tends to f by the convergence, so there exists an L such that norm of the Fnk minus f is less than epsilon by 2 for k greater and equal to L. So we can choose k so large that k greater than L and nk is greater than m. Then we are having f norm of the Fn minus Fm. So then we will calculate that norm Fn minus f. So here we subtract and add Fnk. So this is become norm of the Fn minus Fnk plus Fnk minus f, and by opening triangle inequality, this we obtained is less than equal to norm Fn minus Fnk plus norm Fnk minus f, and which is using equation 2 and 3 less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2 equal to epsilon. So we have obtained for epsilon there exists a m such that for all n greater and equal to m, norm of the Fn minus f is less than epsilon. Therefore we can say that the sequence Fn is convergent sequence, and this is converging to f. So we have shown that every Cauchy sequence in n converges to an element of n. Hence n is complete, and therefore n is a Banach space. So in this way we have proved that a space, norm linear space, is Banach space if and only if every absolutely summable series is summable. So in this article we have defined some definition about norm linear space, convergence in norm linear space, and the absolute summability. So I am Dr. R.P. Somani, Associate Professor in Maths. Thank you.